Hello? How you doing, sweet old man? Jojo, sweetheart. Give everyone a kiss. Come on. There we go. Such a good Cosmo. A little Cosmo moment for everybody. Hey, Turbs. Colby. Turbo. Kitten. Okay. Yes, you can go outside. We do this every video, right? It's the fun part. It's going outside so that we can do the fun outdoor things. Whew, it is windy, and I don't have a voice. So I'm picking up basically from right where last week's garden tour left off. I looked at the forecast. This is pretty much the only opportunity I'm going to have to film. Maybe Monday and Tuesday next week, which will be a few days prior. Jeez. I don't know what to do, is what I'm saying. I got to get next weekend's video film, the video you're watching right now, today. This is pretty much the only time, but it is incredibly windy. That just is what it is. We're supposed to have rain, and the whole theme here is there's lots of new plants. Got a bunch of packages sitting on the front porch. We're going to be opening up new plants. You can't just let them sit in the boxes until the weather gets nice. You got to open them up. Oh, hey, what's up, garden friends? Jeff here. How's everybody doing? You're doing well. I'm great. Did I say that? I can't even remember. Say it twice because I mean it. Yeah, let's go around front of the house, pick up some packages. There they are. Looking kind of rough, but here they are. The person who dropped them off dropped them kind of aggressively. The bottom of the package split down here. I think it'll be fine. This is just the very beginning of this. I'm also supposed to be getting in something from, I think, Great Garden Plants today. Maybe somewhere else. I don't know. Let's move these around to the back. Oh, and forgot I have stuff inside with some stuff from Etsy too. So I'll be opening up a lot of plants in this video. I typically, when I unbox things and talk about them, like to put pictures up on the screen and lots of information, but here's the deal. I'm still editing on a potato. The nice computer's still out being repaired, and with the computer I'm using now, if I put too many things, whether it's pictures or pop-up texts or music, it really struggles. But I can usually put up a screenshot from my phone, and that doesn't seem to upset it too much. It must be a lower bit rate. So whatever. I'll try and make sure I have pictures up on the screen. It just won't be as nice as usual. It's like the fun, nice fades in and out and zooms and whatnot, which I doubt y'all even care about. So we're starting off here with plant. That was a little rough. Plant Delights. Order from them a ton every single year. Where's my knife? I need my knife. There we go. I placed several orders from them last winter, so I don't know what's in here. I could have looked it up. You know, it's pretty easy. Their website's great. You can go in, log in, and look at your past orders and invoices and everything, and it could just matched up the tracking number that went with the invoice that they sent me to see what. It doesn't matter. It's not necessary. You get to be surprised this way. Oh yeah, I already think I know what this is. Come on out. Why don't you come up here? I'm gonna squeeze it with my feet, and then I can pull it out. Is that gonna work? Oh, that's nice. They put it in a heat pack. Probably not necessary for this time of year, but it's good. Oh, I've been waiting for these. I'm excited about them too. That probably came across from my tone and me saying I've been waiting for them. Palms. Can you see it? You recognize they're palm trees. Little baby palms. And then over here, I actually don't know what these are. A lot of this stuff's probably gonna be dormant because it's just that time of year where things would be dormant. What is this? Myoga, that's a zingiber. That is a calla lily called Red Charm. And this looks like another zingiber. White feather. So I have two white feather. These are hardy gingers in here. They have a really nice upright habit. They do this. See what this oleander is doing because of the wind? They grow like that. And they can be a little bit more upright than that, but you get the picture. Long, paddle-like leaves outlined in white. They have a very nice variegation on them. They should be good. In zone 7, no problem. Zone 6 should be good too. Never had a problem with them here unless the spot that they're in wasn't getting quite enough light. Otherwise, sturdy plants. Kind of late to come up. I already have a bunch of these in the ground, and I have some other spots where I wanted to put some, and I thought, well, why don't I go ahead and just order some more because I really like them. So I have some. The Kayla, the pink charm, that was the name on this one, right? Red Charm. I just really like the flowers on it, and I've wanted to try some different Kaylas in the garden. A lot of people grow them around here as perennials, even though this is technically zone 7A, 6B, 7A. Lots of people are growing them. So I figure pick out some types I really like, throw them in the garden, and see how they look. Look at them. They're so cute. I love baby windmill palms. These are the Tesan. Tesan? It's a fortunei, supposed to be a really, really tough cold hardy one, that has a good growth rate to it. And that's apparently why I ordered 3 of them. I think 1 would have been fine, but 3's nice. You know, during the winter, who knows what was going through my head. Maybe I was thinking, oh, these will be great in about 10 years, 10, 15 years when they're really big. I don't know. But I'm happy to have them because these are fun. I might try 1 or 2 of them in the ground and just keep the other one potted. We will see. They're pretty easy to overwinter here. The main thing is to keep them dry above anything, is just don't let them get wet when it's cold outside and avoid the really harsh winds on them, and they usually do pretty well. Tesans. Really nice fortunei. I could talk about them some more, but I think I'll save that for when it's time to pot them up and really go into detail with them, because I already have, there's 2 more boxes. There's some that haven't shown up yet that are going to have a lot of plants in them. There's still so much to go through. But it's supposed to be an exceptionally cold hardy, slightly more fast growing than just your regular fortunei. I don't want to overblow it or over boast it, saying that, oh, it grows so much faster. To my understanding, it's like, it's just a little bit. But y'all let me know. Have you grown the Tesan before? I haven't grown it before. I've wanted them for a long time. Just never bothered. I've always just stuck with the regular fortuneis. I've had some Bulgarias before and some other kind of interesting crosses, but never this one. This is packaged up well. Oh, there's 2 plants in here. We should have had it sitting like that. Okay, I have no recollection of what these would be. How would I? It's just soil. Oh, soil and a little green nub. Also, it's the best thing. You know, I never have to buy rubber bands. All my rubber bands in this entire house are from Plant Delights. I just love the way they package things. It's so easy. There's some places where they're full of wet paper and packaging tape, and you have to gently excavate everything so you're not cutting up the plants where you're trying to get all the dang tape off of it. This works. It works wonderfully. Like, I'm not trash talking, but Brian's Botanicals. I despise unpacking their plants. The stuff I got from them last year was better than stuff in the past, like from years ago. I went up years without ordering from just because I was like, man, this is a pain getting through all this material and getting all the tape off of everything. Oh, I know what this is. Oh, I'm so glad this is here. My Fair Lady Hosta. This is a beautiful, beautiful hosta. You can see it's 17 inches high, up to, at max, 38 to 40 inches wide. They have a really pretty kind of tricolor variegation on the foliage. It's like a nice cream and green with a little bit of yellow. The leaves just look so cool. It's a really, really pretty one. I'm guessing, I doubt I just ordered 1 of those, but maybe I did. I'm not sure. What is this one? Probably another 5, no? Yep, 2 of those. These are going to be beautiful in the new shade garden that's down here. I just wanted something with some really nice, vibrant, beautiful, bold foliage on it. And that's what these are going to be. There's only 2 left. Well, 3, because I have the Etsy one over there. It's a different kind of box. Oh, yeah. That's what I was hoping this was. It's another palm tree. Has some pretty good size on it, too. Oh, there's the tag. Go ahead and pull that tag out. Don't smash the flowers. Oh, the wind. Set that down so the wind can't run away with it. Isn't it beautiful? It's a Sabal. It's a Sabal cross with palmarum. So that's a palmetto and a cassarium. This is one that's from, where is it? Augusta? I don't remember. It's called Me Too. It's been grown in an area where a lot of the other Sabals don't necessarily do as well, but the parent plant of this one's been doing well for a long time. So I thought, hey, it sounds like fun. Let's give it a try. Not going to go in the ground anytime soon. Need to grow it out for a few years. There's a fun thing about Sabals is that if you break the roots, the whole root dies. So they're not the easiest thing to transplant depending on their size. When they get up to, what's about 10 foot of trunk on them, then you have a much higher success rate of just transplanting them as just the big old Sabal sticks with a good hurricane cut on them. Smaller than that, the success rate's not quite as good, but I think that there are probably some things that can be done. Anyways, I'm not going to keep this in a pot until it's 10 feet tall. I'm not saying that. I just want it to get big enough where it will have a better chance of surviving a winter. Basically, it needs to girth out some. It needs to thicken up so it can endure some more extreme temperatures. The heck is this? It's pretty. It's a hosta. Can't remember what kind of hosta. Is this the other hosta? Did I order 3 of my fair ladies? I did. So this one right here, the same as those 2. I thought it was odd that there are only 2 of those. It seems like something you'd want 3 of, right? This one right here, is this the it is. Gigantosaurus. Okay, look at that. It's got a root coming out the bottom. Nice, big, healthy plant. The Gigantosaurus is, well, it's what it sounds like. It's a hosta that just gets big. 30 inches high, 72 inches wide. Great, big, gigantic leaves on this one. And, I mean, kind of like an Empress Woo, but more of a light green color. Bigger than a sum and substance, or maybe about the same as a sum and substance. I don't, they say that it's like the largest they've ever grown. So I'm excited for this one. Only did 1 of those because vigor, right? That's huge. 30 by 72. I doubt it'll reach 72 because I got to divide these up every so often, but who knows? Maybe someday they'd fill in a really nice spot. It's just really big, vibrant leaves that have some good texture on them too. And these are just the little baby leaves. Hopefully there will have been a picture up on the screen so you can see how interesting the texture is and just how lush and healthy and happy of a plant that this looks like to be. I just finished filming that garden tour. That was a long one. Brain's done. Didn't do nothing but talking all day. All right, this one. This is from Etsy. I believe the name of the seller is Gardens Oive. Something like that. Well packaged. It's in an Amazon box. Things are nice and moist. Oh, look at that. Oh, this is great. Doesn't it look great? I mean, you don't know what it is. You're probably not thinking so. This is the Evergreen Solomon Seal, which is the Diosporosis Perennials. Yeah, I think so. Very nice, good clump of plants here. So I'm pretty sure they just, dug these up from their garden, which I'm fine with. It's a more affordable way to get plants around. You're just selling divisions of them. And it's just what it sounds like. It's a Solomon seal. It has a similar shape to it actually as the Zingiber myogas, which we were talking about at the beginning of the video with those other plants, but even more cold hardy. And these are somewhat evergreen and they have flowers and everything too. I just really like the shape of these. That's the main reason I like them. Really good part shade to part sun, even deep shade kind of a plant. The sun, in my experience with Solomon seal, is usually, morning sun good, afternoon sun not good. But there are lots of different types and different climates and whatnot. That's just what's been working with me. They are evergreen-ish here. This one is, has the potential to be an evergreen Solomon seal, but usually they look pretty rough by the time the spring rolls around, if you have a really harsh winter. But it's still a fun plant, and you just cut them back and the new stuff flushes right back out on them. I have had these before, or I haven't had them in my garden. I planted them for other people before, where they're in a nice sheltered spot, and they looked pretty good all winter long. So they spread and fill out an area very nicely. They naturalize, great for a woodland setting. For me, I kind of go for more of that like temperate to tropical woodlandy stuff with my garden. When it's not summer, I don't have palm trees and things everywhere. They have a deep green leaf on them, and I just love that. When you have a deep green glossy leaf on plants, things look so much more lush and hydrated, and it's kind of cooling. That's my vibe. I love that. So these are great. I got a lot of stuff that needs to be planted now. I mean, I could actually wait. I could wait a few days on all of this, except for those Solomon seals. I should probably at least pot them up, right? But yeah, the palms and those things, they can wait a few days. My main thing was I wanted to get this stuff opened up so we can talk about it, and then it's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to rain Sunday, but I think Monday and Tuesday are supposed to be decent. So we will get to planting all these things up. I might do these now, but everything else we'll get to in a few days. And there's still another box of plants coming. I don't know what's going to be here, but tracking says it's supposed to be here today. So the next thing we'll be doing is opening another shipment of plants, maybe, assuming that they show up. I don't really know. We're just going to have to wait and find out. You know what? I know that it would make the most sense for the integrity and structure of the video to wait for the rest of the plants to get here than just spend a whole bunch of time planting them all up together, but I don't know when the rest of them are going to be here, and I'd like to get some stuff done. Because, like I mentioned, we have lots of rain in the forecast, which means that this is a great time to plant. Especially now, instead of waiting till Monday, because on Monday it will have been raining for the last 2 days, everything's going to be sopping wet. We have lots of rain coming up, cool temperatures. It's a good time to get things in the ground. So we'll start with the Solomon seal. Oh, did I mention? I don't think I did. The Gigantosaurus is variegated, and its parents, or at least one of them, I'm pretty sure is Empress Woo. And maybe blueberry muffin was the other one. I can't remember. It's been a while since I read about these plants. I remember them saying that it was the largest variegated hosta that they had encountered. That's what they said in the Plant Delights description. I probably should have mentioned that when I was talking about it. I'm also not positive that's what they said because it's been a few months since I read all that. Okay, Solomon seal. Gonna want the auger for this. What's nice about a clump like this is it's so easy to divide this up and spread it around. Not entirely sure why I grabbed my auger, but not the drill that it goes to. Still gonna have to go back and grab the drill. Okay. I think separate that out. What else will just naturally come out of this easily? Is that it? I don't want to pull on it too much, so I'd like for them to just take off and get looking good quickly. Is that it? Maybe. Yeah, 4. Split up into 4s. 3 kind of small ones. 1 nice big one. Oh, got a little straggler right there that fell behind. Original plan was to get one kind of like right up in here. Maybe more like up there. That'll be really pretty under this tree. And then, what? Go 1, 2, 3 down the line. That'll come up and above everything, kind of fill in the gaps in between the U's while they're still growing. And just like that, it's all done. Wasn't really much to show, right? Because I just put everything underground. Used the biotone starter, put a clump right here, and then a clump down there, and another clump down there. It'd make more sense to put one right here. They're gonna spread. This is well, I'm not gonna say it's a bad place to put them. It's just, there's gonna be a lot of sun right here for a big part of the year, so I don't know how well those are gonna do, but hopefully okay. During the hottest part of the year, it'll be shady, right? Because there'll be leaves on the tree. But for the, winter, it'll be very bright and very sunny. There'll be more shade up here for those. Nice looking soil you got there. Some Oive gardens, or gardens Oive. I do think something variegated up there would have made more sense because it would stand out more. This spot gets really dark and shady, but this is fine. That's the nice thing about the Solomon seal, is they spread very vigorously. So can lift them and move them around. Okay, I need to go get a new battery for the drill, and then let's figure out what to do with those hostas. Oh, I should mention, if these were plants that were fully flushed out, or even, I don't know, 50% more flushed out than everything so far that I've been messing with, I would say it's a good idea to give them a good drink, put them in the shade, and wait a little while before you plant them. At least give them a few days, couple of weeks if they don't seem root bound. But this is right here, this is prime time. I'm not worried about them. They'll do the rest of their flushing out in the ground. These are the 3 My Fair Ladies, that yellow, green, and greenish variegation. I'm sure my plan was to put them over here. I just don't remember. Oh, was it under the prime? That'd be a good spot. That thought feels familiar, to do them underneath the limelight prime. A little triangle 1, 2, and 3. That might look good. It'd be such nice color when you're walking up through here. Is that gonna be too much variegation though? Not that matters. I already have them. I need to plant them. But I have a variegated toad lily back there. Then there's the variegated spurge down here, the pachysandra, which is a very subtle variegation. I don't really think that matters. I think it's fine. There's gonna be lots of other green stuff that just hasn't come up yet. There's gonna be all the voodoo lilies in the back, the lily, and then these things. I can never remember the name of, I just did so much talking. Don't know what you heard or not. There's more things that'll fill out here that are green, and I think that the hostas will look really good right here. I think I've just briefly covered my bases and re-summarized whatever I just said. I don't know if that was recorded or not. Now, how do I want the triangle? Do I want the triangle coming up through here? I want it going this, this, and this, or this, this, and this. I might want more ground covers towards the front, so I think it'd be a good idea to have this be the base of the triangle with those over there, so that there's some more open space right here, because otherwise the point's going to be out here, and I'll have to plant up into that triangle from right here and over there. Alright, ended up not doing any of those things that I talked about before, and I put them right here. This little triangle. They're a little bit close together. That's because I would like for them to form up nicely into a patch sooner than later. I need to come in and do some edging here, because this is supposed to come out all the way to there, but the strawberries and violets, wild strawberries, creeping their way in. I wanted to leave room because I have lots of different ground covers I want to play with over here, so I didn't want them in a ring around the base of the tree. I thought about putting the Gigantosaurus hosta over here. I think that'd be really cool, but these have really interesting variegated leaves. The not painted leaf, My Fair Lady. And the Gigantosaurus also has variegation on it. And I don't know, there's already variegation with the toad lilies and then the spurge. And I'd like to put a ginger over here, and they have a very subtle variegation. I don't want to overdo the variegation. But I do think it would look awesome over here. That's okay. There are other options. I was thinking right up here is my kneeling pad. It's actually a pool saddle. It's a float you sit on, but I use it as a kneeling pad. So this is over here where the Alexander palm goes during the summer. There's a good amount of light over here, somewhat shady. So I already have a bunch of the zingibers planted over here that I did not mulch this winter. So I don't know if they're going to come back or not. They should. We had a pretty mild winter, but who knows? I have 2 more if they don't, so that's okay. This spot over here, it's too shady for the crepe myrtle. I had to cut that out years ago, but you can see it comes back every year. That's a weed, but there's a crepe myrtle back in there. And I think that that might be a good spot for the hosta, because it gets pretty good light in the morning and then shade in the afternoon. That's a light shade plant. When I hear light shade, that usually makes me think that they mean part sun with filtered afternoon light is more what I'm thinking when I hear a light shade. If you want to really get the right size on them. Drier climate, more shade, right? Light shade, part shade, dry shade, all those things. As long as the ground's moist, it doesn't really matter. It's a hosta, it should do fine. I got a lot of cleaning up to do in here. Re-level all this. That's okay, one thing at a time. Wouldn't that be pretty? Just this giant mound of hosta in here. I think that'd look really nice. Abrupt change. Did you enjoy that last shot of my hand? Maybe you saw my hand. I'm not sure. I would start off the camera and noticed my hand was right there. I went ahead and got everything else planted up. We didn't need to talk through all of it, did we? I don't think so. I did a zingiber on each side of the steps up here. Cruising through there quickly because I feel weird talking right behind my neighbor's house. One right here. There. See it? With my hand. There. That's where it is. And then they're on each side of the steps. I know I need to do something with that juniper there. I've always wanted to have them in these 2 corners where they would fill out these round parts and come up and just sort of spray. Not like directly over the edge, but close to it. Now I have them and they can do that. There's a good amount of sun over there too, so I think they'll like it. I mean, not full sun, but over here I don't think they're getting enough light. And then I did the Kala lily right down here. Planted it a little bit deep. Not even a little bit. Extra deep. Because, well, it's what you got to do to make them survive here in the winters. I'm also remembering this is a cold spot. So, I don't know. I might end up moving that over there. But for now, it's fine. It has its tag in it. I'm going to let it come up and get some size on it. And then maybe I'll move it. Didn't do the hosta over here. I wanted something big and impactful on the other side of the yard down here in the hill garden or the dump garden. And I started to remember that I'm pretty sure I got that to put underneath this pine here. So there's a big spirea right there that I'm not crazy about. I'm gonna be pulling that out, and I want this hosta to fill in that whole spot up there. I just thought that that texture and that color would be really pretty underneath or next to the hydrangeas and right above the Cephalotaxis and the Hinoki cypress. We will see. And that's everything. Everything's planted up. But need to handle these palms right here. They're ready for a repot. And I think I'm just gonna go big. I think we're just gonna go real big with them. Why not? I can think of a lot of reasons as to why not. Mainly that you don't want them to be surrounded by water. The thing is, they root out fairly quickly. So even though I know this seems extreme, I actually think it'll be okay. Obviously, I wouldn't do it if I didn't think it would be okay. They're not going to be okay like this, not for very long. I'd have to water them constantly to keep them hydrated. The next size I thought about would have been to just bump them up into one of these, which would be fine if you're following the one size up at a time thing, but I'm not doing that. Don't need to. Don't have to do that with palm trees as much as you do a lot of other plants. Palms can usually take a really big, heavy potting. They'll spread their roots out pretty quickly. Not all palms, but windmill palms, they should be fine. You know, look at this. Got a nice base in it, but not a ton of roots. Good Lord, this is so annoying. The wind, ridiculous. I'll do them in the smaller pots. Mostly just because I don't feel like everybody yelling at me saying, they're gonna root rot. They're not, they're fine. They really would be fine in a larger size container. I was also thinking that there's a pretty good chance I'm gonna be sticking a couple of these in the ground. So why waste the nice soil in those larger containers, right? Doesn't seem necessary Hell, it's not even sunny out, but I have to have my glasses on because the wind keeps blowing all kinds of junk in my eyes. Go ahead and take you. Yeah, that's fine. Can just do a little bit of that. Make sure that it's down far enough that I'm not going to have to water it like a baby. I hate doing that. I like to leave a big lip so I can give them a nice big drink. Lower is fine. Oh, I forgot. You don't know this. I already potted up what we were just talking about. Forgot to mention that need to go in with these. I'm trying to shake out as much of the soil from the inside as possible because there's a drastic difference between the drainage and the proven winners, not proven winners, the Plant Delights mix, and then this soil right here that I'm using, which is proven winners potting mix. The stuff from Plant Delights drains really, really fast. I mean, it's bark. It's compost, but it's bark, right? And I have a lot of trouble keeping plants hydrated in that mix. That's why I'm trying to get these out of that mix. Now, I think that would be the best thing to do. And you don't want a lot of that on the inside because then the water's just rushing away from the plant and it's not going to be able to get to the moisture that it wants. You get it? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to pot up these other 2. Yeah, this one's not done. 2.5. Whoa. Look at that. That's the base of the Sabal. So, you know, with the miners, and well, a lot of them, they form an underground trunk before you start to see any above ground trunk. There's a nice look at what that looks like. So that's the part you don't want to break because the entire thing will die. But what I was mentioning earlier about the Sabals and transplanting everything was all very true. But the main concern that I have with them is with the miners because it's really hard to dig them out because they've sent that root, that trunk, it's not a root, the trunk down really deep. Once they're in place, it's hard to move them. And they just, in general, pretty much none of them like to have the roots messed with all that much. So that's why with this one, I am going to go ahead and do the really big pot jump up with this one. There we go. This umbrella and this wind's getting really annoying. I'm glad to wrap up this portion of the day, except there's still another box of plants coming. Don't know when it'll be here. That may have to wait till Monday. I'll have to open them. I don't know what to do there, 'cause I'm not going to be here tomorrow. We might just unbox them in the dark tonight. That might be what's happening. One thing I forgot to mention with the Tesan, I don't know, is that they are supposed to have a nice thick trunk on them and mature at a smaller size being 30 feet. So not only are they supposedly pretty dang cold hardy, I think the Plant Delight sites is, what did they say, -4 degrees. There are reports of them surviving that Fahrenheit. But nice thick growth and much quicker growth and a shorter mature size. Overall, sounds like a real champ of a windmill palm. Have that nice girthy size to them. Can you see that Sabal? This just, it looks right. It's going to take a while to root out into this container, but I don't have to repot it very often, so I think that was the right move. Again, I think these would have been fine in a larger pot. I'm not doing, I made that point already. I gotta go inside and take a break from the wind. We'll pick up later. It'll probably still be windy. It'll probably be dark. If those plants show up tonight, gotta open them up and, well, we won't get them planted tonight, but we have to get them out of their boxes, right? I got so freaking lucky last night. This was sitting on the table from all those repots I was doing, wide open. I never do that. You can trust me when I tell you, you do not want to smell any Espoma product, especially the biotone, when these things get wet. It's disgusting. And it's not ruined if you immediately go ahead and just disperse it all over the place, but you can't hold on to it anymore because it's just, that's a really gross, vile smell. Anyways, we had some rain, actually had a lot of rain. That's why I cannot believe that somehow this didn't get full of water. It is a day later, so it's not the next day, but a day later. You probably don't care about the timeline. Plants arrived Friday, planted them up, right, and then Saturday happened. I was gone out doing stuff all day Saturday, and apparently this was delivered yesterday. I found it in the driveway behind the dumpster. More plants just hanging out behind the dumpster. I don't care. At least they're here. Hopefully they weren't sitting out in the sun too long. I don't know. I didn't look at the cameras. He likes to be in the shot. Good boy, Turbo. Yeah, great garden plants. Never ordered from them before. They had a really good selection. I think most of the plants are going to be in some pretty small containers. It's not their fault this was left in the driveway behind the dumpster. That was very odd. The dumpsters are all the way up here by the gates past the cars, so they have to go out of your way to put it there. Weird. Package looks fine though. Kind of wet though. So coming to you with a soggy box here, kind of on the verge of collapse, but that's just going to make it easier to break down for the recycling, right? Hey, Turbo, I need to do the whole, I don't want, no. You need to not be where the razor blade is. Can you come down or are you trapped? What are you going to do? Can you make it? You can do that. There you go. Great. Thank you, Turbo. It's fine. Caught it with my foot before there's too much of a fall down. I went and just cut the top open because it had like 3 different stickers with my name and address and everything. So just pulled that off of there. Oh. It's nice. Oh, it's proven winners. Okay. Yeah, cool. I'm aware. Proven winners. I know they're a thing. Thanks for that. Did that seem sassy? It shouldn't seem sassy. I have a thorn in my side with proven winners, and I need to just get over it. They haven't done anything wrong. They're just doing what proven winners does. Huh? That's usually there's a bottom to these, and that's what holds them together. I don't mind. That made it a lot easier to get these out of the package. I've noticed they're starting to pick up on the hibiscus, which I guess is cool, but it's like they're buying the rights to some of the Hollywood hibiscus, which used to be pretty easy to find, and I mean more expensive of the hibiscus, but still pretty affordable. And the nurseries around here, like, they never carry proven winners tropicals. Like, you don't see mangaves and the cannas and those things, and I think they sell the cannas more if they're annuals. But they picked up the My First Lady, or the just First Lady hibiscus, which I freaking love. Love that one so much, and I'm just going, does that mean Hollywood hibiscus isn't going to carry it now? And I'm only going to be able to find it if I can find some place that's selling proven winners tropicals. That's all. It's not a thorn in my side. It's just like a, come on. That actually happened with the Sgt. Pepper dogwood too. That was a plant that's been around for a while, and then I couldn't find it. And then, oh, proven winners has it now. So I had to figure out how to get it from proven winners instead of, I think, first editions. I'm pretty sure they were carrying it last year. You want to know about the plants? They're in packaging really well here. Like I said, it's just what proven winners does. That's what they do. They find the good plants and they're like, we approve of this one and we're going to sell it under our name. And they trial a lot of the plants too, but not all of them. Like the First Lady hibiscus, it's not theirs. They just like, hey, this is a good one. Let's slap our name on it. And Sgt. Pepper dogwood, and a lot of them. And that's fine. A lot of places do that. It's just, well, the proven winners stuff is getting really pricey. And like I said, not always that easy to find their stuff. You can find their shrubbery and their perennials and things, but not always the tropicals. What the heck is this? I know it's a rose. This is the climbing rose, huh? Well, it's a good thing it's a climber. They're usually pretty vigorous. It's a tiny little thing. This is a really pretty one. It's called, what is it? The Sun, I think it's called Sun something. Garden Sun. It actually says it right there. I'm looking right at it and y'all can see it. It's a yellowy, a really happy yellowy climbing rose. Great color on it. These are Sarcocarpus, right here, the Sweet and Lows. Oh, yep. There we go. This makes sense. A lot of these plants are proven winners plants. So I bet that's why the proven winners catalog was in here. Love the Sarcocarpus, the sweet box. Looking forward to planting these. Part sun, into the shade. Some morning sun. They can take pretty direct morning sun. I've never had issues with the morning sun. This is supposed to have a really nice bushy habit to it. I almost said habit. And they have really pretty whitish flowers that kind of look, how did you describe it? Almost like the catkins on a maple, but they're really white with like a hint of lavender that go up and down the stems all the way. Really pretty one. This grass right here, this is a carex, which I'm very excited about. I don't know if it's called bowls or bowels. It's a nice, really tall golden carex. Carex grasses are great because you can put them in the shade. There aren't a ton of grasses you can grow in the shade. There's the Acorus and then the carex, and I can't really think of any fescues, but the mondos and some of the liriopes can grow part shade into part sun. But the carex is kind of the biggest group of ones that can take some shade. From my experience, they still need light. So my shade is deep shade. Down here, this end of the garden, once the trees flush out up above everything, it is deep, deep shade. Like, it's dark down there. And this is the area I was planning on putting those in. Down there. These will get taller. That's the thing that drew me to these. Is one, the color. Great for the shade. It's that nice chartreuse color with a dark green on the very edge of the leaf. That's really nice. Do I hear a golf cart? Did one of the neighbors get an electric vehicle? Or it might be... I'm distracted, sorry. Oh, and now I hear a phone. What's happening? I think there's an electric vehicle up the hill and somebody's using their Bluetooth in their driveway. Something weird's going on. They're just noises I'm not used to. This Carex gets larger than a lot of the others. So, like the Everillo, which normally looks better than this is its springtime color. It's late winter, spring. Stayed green most of the winter, and now I need to come in here with a pair of scissors and go ahead and cut it back to, I don't know, an inch or two above the soil. Never cut these back all the way, but I want to keep them up a little bit higher so that all that brown stuff can get out of there. You want airflow and movement around the crowns of the plants. This is another Carex, just like this one, but this is going to have more of a wide habit, which is more typical of the Carex. This one will still have a wide habit, but they'll go up to, I believe they said 24 inches tall. And most of them go like 12, 16 inches somewhere in there. Some say a little bit lower, down like 8 inches. But I was like, well, 24 inches is pretty promising. I don't think it's going to be quite that fountain grass look that I miss having. I don't have the light back here anymore for ornamental grasses, for the really big, pretty ones. Because the sun just, it goes low in the sky once around, I don't know, midsummer, once that time of year rolls around. And then when you don't have really good sun for a sun-loving ornamental grass, they tend to start to splay out and they hang down. They just don't look nice. But they have such a nice texture. Grasses add such a great texture to the garden that I've been trying to incorporate more. I have my dune grass down there. I love the dune grass. That stuff's great. Like I've said whenever I've talked about that before, it's not something... Hey, geese. It's not something I would ever plant in an area where it can't be contained, unless you just want it to take over. It is really pretty when you have just a huge area full of that stuff. But it will go, and it will go, and it will go. I kind of really like the way these are packaged. This is, I think, some of the easiest unboxing I've ever had. You can just tilt it and pop it out. Another rose right here. Was I done talking about the Carex? You get the point, right? It's going to be a really pretty ornamental grass for the part shade. Maybe shade, but I'd say part shade, part sun. I'd avoid afternoon sun with them. It's a nice, big, luminous one, which is great because shady areas are dark, so you want to brighten those areas up. I'm excited about it. There should be 3 of those. There's one. There should be 3 more. This is a Zephrine. This is Zephrine Drohin. Climbing rose. I wanted a Zephrine because I think it was... It's on David Austin's website. I'm pretty sure it was. The roses, from them, fantastic roses. They have so much great education on their website, and I believe the Zephrine was listed as one that, when they're like low light, or they say ones that don't need full sun, they're not going to call them, I guess they're not going to call them low light, they're not going to call them shade lovers, but the Zephrine will grow. Basically, the Zephrine is a thug of a rose, and it'll just grow and grow and grow. I think this one goes like, if I'm not mistaken, 15 to 20 feet. That's a big one. I don't think you're going to get the same flowers if you don't have a good amount of sun for them, but it would be a good one to train along an area where you have mixed light. Like maybe you have a fence where part of that fence gets a good amount of sun, like behind your dolphin statue. And then when you just go a little bit to the southwest, it's under some trees and it's more shady. And then it moves through that and it's more sunny. One rose might tackle it all, maybe. Going to be more mildew prone, right? The less sun they have. So that's something to watch out for. And of course, I think I said they're not going to bloom as much with less light. What's this? Oh, Veronica. This is the tidal pool, also called Creeping Speedwell. Excellent ground covers. I wanted to get some Veronica and some geraniums out here, just some more kind of poofy things to put towards the front of some of the garden beds, more so for like out here in that area and for that shade garden that's behind me with the bird bath in it underneath the maple tree. Sometimes these can be evergreen to semi-evergreen, kind of like a heuchera, where if you're in a more mild climate, they'll look good for the majority of the winter, but then they'll fizzle out towards the end of winter and start to look more crummy towards spring, and you cut them back and they flush out new growth, and so there's just more of a short period of not having really nice growth on them. Some of the Veronicas and the geraniums will do that, so I ordered different types. I believe the tidal pool is one that has a really pretty bluish flower on it. That's all. It's just supposed to be a ground cover. I mean, it is just a ground cover. It's not supposed to be a ground cover. That's exactly what it is. It's a ground cover. Okay. Pop that one out. We can just pop that one out. This is great. I'm loving this packaging. I'll get those cute little leaves. I love that so much. It's a geranium. Is this the Roxanne? I can't read it. What does that say? Ballerina. Which, Either has blue or pink flowers on it. I don't remember. Don't remember at all. But it's just a nice ground cover geranium. Same thing with the Veronica. Sometimes they're evergreen, sometimes they're not. I used to love having the Veronicas and the geraniums in the gardens. I had a whole bunch planted up, kind of in this swoop, not right here, but around the corner, underneath a magnolia tree that used to be there. Then when the magnolia tree had to be removed, it had a magnolia scale on it. It was just too much sun, and they just fried and had to go. So I figured, well, now I have some more shady garden areas. I'm trying to work with the shade instead of fight it, right? So that garden bed I was talking about is behind us, behind me, well, us. You guys are here too, here in spirit. Anyways, that's what a lot of these things are for. This one, I'm so excited about this one. Talked about this one a few months ago when I was talking about plants that I was excited about for 2025 and things I had ordered. This is a Perennials called Easy as Pie. This is a cherry. It's a cherry shrub, which isn't that new. Cherry shrubs have been around for a minute, but this one is supposed to be just really easygoing and abundant. Tart fruit, but I think they're supposed to be like less tart than a lot of the other bushy types of cherries. And I thought, well, that's going to be fun. I have the kids around now, the nieces and nephews, and so anytime there's something with fruit on it that the kids can pick, I feel like they'll just love that. And the wildlife, too. I'm not that crazy about cherries. So, I mean, unless they're like, you know, in an old-fashioned, you know, like a Luxardo cherry, something like that that's just been like doused in sugar and alcohol. Love those cherries. But I don't know, maybe these will be great. I don't know, but I thought it'd be fun. And they're very pretty, I think. I think that's a nice, attractive looking shrub. So that's fun. Excited about this one. Just fun to have fun plants around. It's gonna be nice. Oh, there's still a whole bunch more in here. Okay, let's go ahead and get this one out. Look at that. God, this is so nice. I think this is another cherry, right? Yeah, that's the other cherry. I got two of those. Partially because I was like, do they need a pollinator? I don't know. I did some reading. It sounds like they don't need a pollinator. And then I decided that it would be fun to plant some of those somewhere else. Because I have a friend who I think would like them. There's the other Carex right here. Which means I think I ordered 3. So there should be another one in here. Yep, there's number 3. And who's this? I think that's the geranium. And it is just in a bag of dirt. No pot for you, huh? Well, it looks like there's kind of a pot in here. We could call that a pot. It's just a very, very composted. This is a Roxanne geranium. These are fantastic. They're just a reliable one, very common. I probably could have found this at a local nursery, but I just wasn't feeling all that patient. Good spreader. I mean, they're all really good spreaders. Hardy geraniums are just fantastic garden plants because they can go, like you can put them in the sun or you can put them in the shade and they'll flower and just do their thing, and sometimes semi-evergreen, like I was talking about with the Veronica. So that's fun. I think they're kind of a pain to keep up with. Not really a pain, it's just I'm not good at remembering to do my cutbacks with perennials. That's why I don't have a lot of perennials. I don't know if you noticed that. I have a lot of shrubbery and you know, the palms and those things. When it comes to things like salvia and agastache and, you know, nepeta, things where you need to remember to go in and prune out your dead stuff so that they get a nice new flush midsummer whenever they're done with their first bloom cycle. I'm not good at remembering to do that. So I probably will never do that with these, but they're going to have a great spring flush and then look pretty good for the rest of the year. Who knows? Maybe I'll remember to do it, but I doubt it. And then, yeah, the last Carex right here. Nice. I am thrilled with the sun. It was supposed to be horrible today. The weather forecast for the last several days have just been saying that there's going to be like tornadoes and stuff all over the place. The tornado chasers, I follow tornado chasers, storm chasers on the YouTube. They were like lining up to head towards St. Louis, and I think last night they're like, oh, we're gonna be going south of St. Louis. Now they're hanging out in Oklahoma or up in Illinois. They're still calling for strong storms this afternoon, but what was bothering me is they were talking about the storms being really bad at like 2 a.m. and that's the worst, the absolute worst. I mean, if you know, you know. You never want to live in a tornado prone area and have to deal with, nobody wants to deal with storms in the middle of the night. I like listening to the rain while I'm sleeping. That's fun. But I don't like to not really know if you can go to bed because, you know, your house might get blown away. You need to have your wits about you in case you need to get everything together and get down to the basement. But it looks like that's all been removed from the forecast. It's still supposed to storm in a couple hours. Rained a little bit for, I don't know, maybe an hour this morning? Something like that. And now it's just really nice out. I'm loving that. I think I might take a gander through here just for fun. Also, I got a bunch of plant catalogs to mail the other day and I had a chance to look at. And then I guess we'll go ahead and get these planted up. Why not? Been trying to just check things off as they come in. The weather's still nice and mild. I mentioned, I think, did I mention earlier in the video about how when things are nice and mild outside, I don't mind going ahead and just planting them up. But if it's more severe weather, if they've been in the mail for a long time, probably best, we talked about it, we did, give them some water, tuck them into the shade for a few days or a few weeks. Give things a chance to recuperate, but I think their best bet is just to get in the ground. It's nice and cool out. Good time of year for that. Okay, that was nice. Sat on my towel, got to do some reading on the plants. Now let's go ahead and just get these things placed. Or should I wait? I don't want to wait. We're supposed to have storms like the rest of the day, starting in maybe an hour or two. And then I think Monday and Tuesday, tomorrow and the day after is supposed to be pretty nice, but then just a chance of rain every day. And that can change. By the time this video comes out, maybe it was a beautiful sunny week. I never know. Hard to tell. But I don't want to get stuck in this place. This happens in the springtime where eventually we finally get some rain. And I'm like, well, I don't want to plant this stuff. That's why things are sitting here because the ground's too wet. And I don't want to dig in it, which I don't really worry about with an auger because there's clay. I have more of a sandy clay. It's very odd, right? So there's more of a loamy clay right around, probably I'd say from right around here and down that hill. And then it's sandy clay over here, which is bizarre. I mean, I guess not really that odd. There's going to be more organics and things because I think that this was more woods and then this is like fill, basically. And the sand is me. I've added sand many years ago to break things up. Why am I talking about soil? Oh, the planting. So when you're digging into clay with a shovel when it's really wet, you can end up kind of compacting the sides. Not kind of, you can compact the sides and then form a pot. And it's easy to just go through and score the edges of that hole that you've dug. Problem solved. I haven't really had to worry about that in a long time. The clay back here is nowhere near as thick and heavy as it used to be, but down deeper it is. So that was what's going to bring me to the point here, is that when the garden is wet, in general, I try to not walk around in it very much. You know, or if I do, then I have like a path that I always use where I'm just never going to plant anything because over time, walking around on top of soil here, but particularly wet soil, will start to compact it down below. And I've been working so hard to keep soil from compacting. But I don't know. I don't think the ground's that wet yet. So we had a pretty dry March. Like really actually pretty dang dry. We only had a few days of rain. So it's going to take a while for things to get nice and saturated. I'm using an auger. That goes down and just, you know, throws their dirt up all over the place. It doesn't really compact things. So it makes sense to just go ahead and we'll just do it. Let's just get this stuff planted. I'll give some more details on these guys as I get them placed around too. Like over here with my bowels. A few different areas where I was thinking about putting them. By the way, I know it's bowls. It's not bowels. It's just, you know, bowels is a funny word. That's all, and I'm immature. Idea with these had been to alternate them throughout up here, but I'm still waiting. Still waiting on, oh, some of the precocious bloomed. That's nice. Precocious daffodils. What was I talking about? The viburnums. So I have the viburnums that are supposed to go in here, but I'm still waiting to kind of figure out the construction plan for this area. But I wanted to have a blend of that evergreen Solomon seal with the taxus, the yews right behind them, and then this really nice chartreusey foliage back here. It's like that's going to make for a really nice, interesting evergreen grouping to semi-evergreen. I don't expect these to hold up all winter, especially up here on this hill. It's going to be more exposed. But they should hold their color for a decent amount of time. You know, we'll say 3/4 of the year. Maybe more than that. Probably more than that. And I should have marked where I put those. I don't remember. It's only been a couple days. Where did I put those Solomon seal that I broke up? They're in here somewhere. I wanted to kind of alternate and mix them through. Because won't that be a nice texture? The little paddle-like, kind of the rainy texture from the Solomon seal. The dark green from the yews. Behind these yews they're columnar growth, so they'll grow up like a pole through here and eventually get fairly close together. And then to have, like, look at how that's beautiful, isn't it? I love these. These might be my favorite thing I got so far. Wish I could have found them in a larger size. That is just luminous. And look at it next to the purple. I mean, that looks nice. good color combo, not just a color combo. The shades are playing well together. Yeah, I'm loving that, which means maybe instead of alternating the grasses, what I will do is do a patch. So go one more like right here, just basically right in front of that daffodil. And then one sort of over here towards this daffodil right there that hasn't done anything yet. This one. And then I don't know if I want one of these that far forward. I kind of like the idea of having them back. I do want them spread out. I don't want this to end up looking like a formal planned out garden. I would like for it to look like colorful nature over here. That can be a tricky thing to pull off when you plant a hedge. And I say that because I would like to maintain the freedom of being able to change things up and just throw things in, not making sure I'm buying things in big quantities that you have a big drift of them. That can become a lot sometimes. Like sometimes you just want to pop, right? You don't necessarily need a whole drift of things. This spot is going to get really good morning sun. And I like this location for it because there's an evergreen up here that's important. The sedges, the carex, right? They're not going to want that really intense bright sun during the winter time. And that can be a difficult thing for me sometimes. I have lots of shade over here for a big part of the year, but there are a lot of evergreens that I just can't do over here because they fry during the winter time. Shade-loving ones, right? Because the leaves fall off the trees and they just cook. I've tried like wintergreen and Lacote, other things, and they end up just cooking to a crisp. So I want to make sure that this is planted within the shade area of that pine. And then to remember that these viburnums, they're going to grow up. I'm going to be putting in more viburnums over here. So it's going to, I don't know how much those are going to shade things. They'll shade things from afternoon sun that comes over from up there. So that's something to think about. That's all. End of thought. Okay. Yeah. What do we think? I know. They're still small. They need time to fill out. Went ahead and I put one right here. Thought that would look nice. That viburnum's going to grow up, so it'll have space right in there. I didn't want these too far forward because it's, 20, 24 inches. Went back a little bit further, so there's some right in between the columbine. There, I love the way that green looks with those purples. Another one down there. Thinking, might have to get some more of those. Those were the whole reason I even placed the order. Was last fall I was trying to find some nice, bright, different textured things to put up into the more shady areas. And I found that grass and I was like, gosh, I gotta have that. Great Garden Plants had it. I don't think I found it anywhere else. And, well, you can't see it from here because they're just little babies, but that's gonna be really pretty when they have those nice big mounds over there, especially with the different shades of green and the purple in the spring. The only thing there, though, is gotta remember timing, right? So the carex might need a shear back in the late winter into early spring, down to a couple inches. Pretty sure I mentioned that. And then the columbine isn't probably, it's definitely not going to be in bloom in late March. It's late March right now. No, it's April when this video comes out. That won't be the case next year. These are from a grower. They just got planted, so they have nice blooms on them. So hopefully by the time the columbine come up and have some flowers on them, the carex will be back to having a nice full size on them. Don't know. I'll have to stay on top of the petasites that are over there too. Make sure those stay nice and cleaned out. I think I'd like to do the Trachycarpus next. The, what is it, Sweet Box? Yeah, those guys. Right here. Goodness, it's amazing how much dirt gets onto this camera when I've been out planting things. A few things that I want to follow up on. One, did not enjoy this unpacking experience. The plastic is hog-ringed onto the container, so it was kind of an arts and crafts project. I went ahead, I grabbed a pair of scissors. That made this much easier, is to just use scissors to cut the bags off. So it's fine. I'll always prefer plant the lights in that manner where you just pop off the rubber bands and you're good to go. But hey, it contained the soil, which is fine. I don't really care if the soil spills and whatnot, but keeps the plants contained. So it works, but it did take a while to get these all unpacked. There were a few other things I wanted to follow up on from when I was unboxing these just, moments ago. And I don't remember if I really gave really good accurate descriptions. So the Roseanne geranium, which I may have called Roxanne, I don't know, it was in my plant hive from unpackaging everything. This one has a pink flower on it. I may have said blue because I couldn't remember. One of these was pink, one of them was blue, and I just mixed it up again. The Roseanne has a blue flower. The ballerina has a pink flower. A purple blue flower on the Roseanne, a very nice, calm, tranquil color. And the ballerina is a pink with a deep colored veining in the flower. It's very pretty. And then I don't think I gave dimensions on the prunus, right? On the cherries, the bush cherries. I want to say there were 3 to 4 feet, but I don't remember as I placed these orders a long time ago. Zones 3 to 8, really cold hardy. That's fantastic. It's got a thing through it. Let me get it open all the way. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Full to part sun, abundant fruit, easy care, 3 to 4.5 feet apart, 3 to 4.5 feet tall and wide. So, and here's their description. Grow all the fruit you need for making pies and jams with easy as pie bush cherry. The space-saving sour cherry needs no pruning or spraying, and it develops cheerful fall color. I really liked that about it. Fall color was a nice seller. Too bad there's a sticker over the picture here. But, I mean, it's a stem with cherries on it. I think you understand it. There we go. Partially got that off. You see it? Cherries. Fun. Excited about those. And then the Veronica, I don't remember if I really gave an accurate description of the color of their flowers. The reason I even like them was because their flowers on the title pole reminds me a lot of a lobelia. The annual type lobelias that I can't really grow here because it just gets too dang hot for them. You can in the springtime, but by summer or, late spring even, they don't usually look too hot. So that's the color on that one, the title pole. Really pretty blue color. And then back to the sweet boxes over here. I did not describe the flowers very well. I think I called them lavender. It's more of a white with a reddish tip on them. And another thing that I really love about these is that they're very fragrant. That was a big selling point to me that I should have pointed out with why these are so awesome. Is when they're evergreen, I think they have a beautiful growth habit to them. There's something very, airy and ethereal. It's hard to see that right now. But when they get bigger, they have good shape to them. Can I get this tag off, or is it hog-ringed into the pot? Oh, yeah. There you go. There's a nice picture. You can even see the flowers. See, it's white with a red tip on them. They almost look like little sprays of fingers, I guess. Maybe catkins wasn't the best description. I don't know why. For some reason, it reminds me of what's going on with the maples right before they start to produce the actual kit. You get it. It's fine. That was probably dizzying, wasn't it? Zones on this one, it is a 5 through 9. So it can take a good amount of colds. You want 6... Noticing that the tags aren't just saying like full to part, they're just directly saying here are your hours. So you're gonna need well, actually it looks like you can take a lot of different light exposures. You can apparently go full to shade. Apparently, is that on the front? Yep. Look at that. Part. No, that's full. What? Hold on, what's happening here? The sun is it's the full sun. So that's part sun to full shade. That makes sense. Yeah. 1.5 to 2.5 feet tall, and then 2 to 3 feet wide. So the sarcocarpus, they can spread sometimes, but it's supposed to be pretty easy to control them. When they put out their little runners, you can just pull them up. No, that's fun. Let's see what their description says. Sweet box, beautifully. What does that say? Beautifully solves multiple landscape challenges, bringing deer resistant. Oh, that's important. Some of you may have wanted to know that. Deer resistant evergreen beauty to an even deeply shaded spots in the landscape. You can put it in the shade and it's deer resistant. There you go. Fragrant thread-like flowers in late winter, early spring. There you go. Got really tongue-tied reading that one. I actually didn't even realize when I placed the order that the Sweet and Low and the cherry shrub were proven winners plants. That's fun. I feel like I've been dogging on proven winners. I'm not dogging on them. I've just been so disappointed with the prices I've been seeing on the hydrangeas. So it's like, I want to plant more hydrangeas. And then the 2 different nurseries I went to, the 3 gallons were like $70 to $90, and then the 5 gallons and up were over like 110. I was like, come on, you gotta do what you gotta do. I know the economy is the economy, but I want to plant things. It's just kind of the way things go when you're licensing out plants to growers and things like that. Things tend to get marked up, and there's a lot of control over pricing, so they can say like proven winners. You buy things online, they're going to make sure that they're charging more because you don't want to sell things for less than the people who are selling your plants, right? And there's just a whole bunch of red tape and stuff with all that. I'm thinking I was going to plant these initially over here in that shade garden under the maple tree, but I'm really enjoying filling in the space down over here. But I got them to put over here. Now that spot's going to get more sun. This is what I was talking about with the carex, with the sedge grass, is that in the wintertime there's no leaves on the trees, so you want to put them someplace shady. It's definitely the case down there. That pine tree is going to provide some filtered light. Still going to be a good amount of sun. I may have to watch those for a few years anyway, so the viburnums do some more growing. But over here, these will be planted underneath a deciduous tree, so they will be getting a lot more light during the wintertime. However, that's the north side of the yard, so I'm thinking it'll probably be okay. I hope. Maybe it won't. We'll see. Only other option for like good shade is up here on the hill, like back behind this dolphin lamp area, which actually might be... Was that where I was going to put these to begin with? I thought I had ordered these for over there. I think was the plan... What the plan was to get these and spread them out some, but I'm liking planting things in groups right now. Because I know that anything fragrant, I like to have some near seating areas. That's the only reason there's a catalpa over there that's going to get 12 to 15 feet tall crammed in that little bitty spot over there. It's going to smell good right through that window and where you're sitting over there. And that seating spot, the little conversation set that's over there. I mean, it's going to be a few years. Got to get a big drift of them to really get the fragrance from them. And these are something where if I find them at the nurseries, I will buy more. Same thing, well, pretty much everything here. I will probably get some more and just hope that I can find them in larger containers. When I can get things in little pots, that's usually a great opportunity to plant things up here on the hill. Because it sucks digging holes up there. So if I find more of these, I never see local perennials in these little pots. That never happens. That's generally a mail order thing, but sometimes you can find some heucheras and things like that in like a 6-inch and under. But, oh, mosquitoes are out. All right. Things are warming up. I've got mosquitoes out. So I'm kind of wondering if I should seize the opportunity and go ahead and stick these up there on the hill since they're nice and small. I don't know. I'm going to meander around, get things placed, get them planted, and we'll find out where things ended up going. Oh, no, hold on. First. Do you see it? I don't see it. Where'd it go? No, where'd you go? Come back. Oh, come on. I was having fun looking at you. You can't see it anymore. Blue jay. I think the blue jays might be nesting up here in the spruce. That would be so exciting. I love blue jays. They can be obnoxious. They can be territorial, but they're goofy when they're being territorial. I know that they can harass the animals and stuff. I mean, Turbo doesn't care. I don't have outdoor cats because I don't do outdoor cats. Not good for the environment to be letting the cats outside. And it's not where I live. It's just not safe. There are busy roads everywhere. You don't see outdoor cats here for a reason. They don't live very long. But I do remember growing up, I lived in a different town, and there were blue jays that would go after the neighborhood cats, and it was kind of funny. Like they would, I don't think they were playing, but it kind of seemed like a game. The reason I like the blue jays is one, because they're really colorful and they're pretty and they keep the grackles away. And the grackles just poop all over the pool. So it helps having the blue jays out here. And that was neither here nor there, and you didn't even get to see it. But that's a lady blue jay. There's a male blue jay who's been over here too. I think it was a lady. I didn't get a good look. Sounded like a lady. I don't know. The boys are usually the ones that are throwing a fit. Can't always tell though. I'm not sure what's the dimorphism on blue jays. Do they even have dimorphism? I googled it, and from what I found, it kind of depends on your blue jays and the time of year. The females look like they're usually a little bit smaller and less colorful. That's generally how things go with birds, especially songbirds and a lot of hookbills. I don't know. From this far away, I really couldn't tell, because the females, from the pictures I was seeing, like they still have plenty of blue on the body, and I could only see the body, couldn't really see the head. Doesn't really matter. Just thought I'd fill you in. Somebody else fill in who knows more down in the comment section. I don't see a lot of blue jays. They're not new to the area, but well, kind of new, actually. I've only been seeing them for like the last 3 or 4 years, and prior to that, like every now and then you'd see one fly by. But I grew up around them when I was a kid, but I haven't seen them since. I don't know. Just let us know. If you know, go ahead and explain it. One more thing. My mic's off, so I'm going to try to make this quick. You'll be able to hear me just fine. The Zephrine rose, the garden sun one, I think I just thought it was pretty, so I just ordered it. I don't know a lot of details. I think I just really like that one. So Zephrine is supposed to be nicely scented. A deep pink flower. It's supposed to be a very free flower, you know, a heavy set of blooms in late spring. Generally, they prefer things more warm, according to the David Austin website, and then just free flowering throughout the rest of the year. And even they mentioned, so I knew the thing about like mildew and some other things maybe being an issue, particularly if they're not getting enough light. They do list this one. They say something about it being a little bit more prone to disease and problems. So there's that. Oh, and thornless. A lot of people might want to know that. They listed as 15 feet high, by the way. I feel like I've seen the Zephrines around here growing up the sides of people's brick walls, or trained onto people's brick walls that looked massive, but maybe they weren't. Maybe they weren't Zephrines. It can be pretty hard to just look at a climbing rose and go, oh, I know what that one is. But the Zephrine is a fairly common one. So I don't know. There's that. Fragrance is supposed to be fruity. Okay, so now I'm going to walk around and get things placed, unless some other hair pops out and I decide I need to handle it and let you guys know something. Okay, coming up on the end of things here. Realized that I should make some changes while I was up here digging holes. One of them is something I've wanted to do for a very long time. That was to get, well, it's already gone. And that was to get rid of a spirea that was up here that I've just never been crazy about. I'm not really all that into spirea, but they can be a fairly low maintenance shrub that has some nice fall color, and pollinators tend to like them if you get ones that are blooming really, really well. So years ago, back in 2020, I think it was, had to be in 2020 because I didn't plant it. And that year I had people out here helping me planting things. So it was planted right up here, right, just kind of on the side of that Gigantosaurus. That's a root ball from something else. I don't know what, need to break that up. I went and dug that up, which, by the way, if you don't have a root slayer shovel, you got to get one of these things. I attempted, because I had misplaced the root slayer. I'm sorry, it was just blending into the house and I couldn't see it. Tried to just use my regular shovel, and it just wasn't happening. I grabbed the root slayer and boom, slid right out. Excellent shovel, because you can stab it down. It's got a forked, kind of like a split end on it, stabs it into the ground, and it's serrated on the side so you can wiggle it back and forth to chop things while you're down there. It's so good. So I got that out. It's over here now. That's what it looks like. We're gonna move on from that. And I also realized, while I was like, I gotta get that spirea out of here, that was because I had wanted to plant the cherry right where the spirea was. It's like, I would like that shape over here, and then the nice fall color and the pretty berries. I have things up here that produce berries for the birds, and that's a good spot for it. Sunny. Soil's just kind of meh, which should be good for a cherry. I am amending all the holes. Okay, I'm using Biotone starter and everything. Holly tone with the sweet and lows, just a little bit, just to slightly help acidify the soil some for them. Soil up here, generally between 6.2, 6.4, whenever I check it, somewhere in there. So acidic, but not like really acidic for acid-loving plants, but it's like kind of on the cusp where you still should do something. I get a mixture of pink and blue flowers. Isn't that weird on the hydrangeas? So the endless summers, even though they very rarely bloom, that one shrub will put up pink and blue. Very odd. I think last summer the 3 flowers I got from were only pink though. So I have soil acidifier to put on top of that, and need to do that like right when they start to bud out. So when I do the soil acidifier, that's neither here nor there, but I thought I'd put it out while I'm thinking about it. And then I'll usually repeat about a month later. Then I'm done with the soil acidifier if you try and change the color. So the cherry, gonna go down there where the spirea was. The Gigantosaurus hosta, I'm gonna move that too. Let's come up here and have a look at things. Grab this, bring it on down. Okay, so cherry, gonna go right here in the hole. And then the Gigantosaurus, I wanted it further down, but I had trouble finding a spot where the ground would break up. The soil over here is really compact, but I found a spot. I just kept stabbing the shovel around until I found something that I thought would work, or felt like it was going to work, and it worked. So, hostas, going to go down here. That'll fill in this spot beautifully. I wanted it to be someplace where it's not only visible from that side of the patio, but also when you're walking through the garden. Eventually, I'd like to put in a little stone path that comes through over here and up here, and then leads up through there, so there's, you know, ways to get around different angles to see things. With it being right there, you'd pretty much only be able to see it from over there and like the hot tub area, and it gets really big. It's a big glorious hosta. I want it to be visible, and this is a problematic spot. That's what I was going to say. Hard to dig in, so planting one thing that'll fill it in nicely, that's the way to do it. So I'm just going to lift that. I mean, this shouldn't be very challenging, right? It's only been 48 hours, if even. That should come up no problem. And then we just take that and bring it on over here. I'll backfill it in a bit. Don't forget the tag. I want to keep the tags near these things, since I talk about them in the tours, want to remember what they are. And then the airbrush effect hibiscus. This was a dumb thing to do. I don't know, why did I put it down here? Can't believe you guys let me do that. I planted it right there. Is that stub? Bad spot. Well, I mean, I talked about that when I planted it, that it was going to be above and in front of some of the things in the background. My fear is, like, since they're so different seasonally, that didn't matter, and I stand by that. That's true. But do you see the lighting difference here? Sun, shade. So it's supposed to be down here, where my other hibiscus are that are doing well. That's where it's supposed to go. So this is just going to go over there. It's easy. It's not one of the really big hardy hibiscus. I might dig that hole out a little bit more. So I think that should kind of come up to right around here, height-wise. We'll go 30 to 48 inches max. And then we'll have the taller berry white behind it. This will be gone next year. And then even taller, might try and move this back a little more. I'm going to see what the root situation's like. Have the cherry in that kind of vase shape right here. It's going to be very full, but I'm okay with that. I think it's going to look good. And when I'm done, I'm going to come in. I got a lot of old soil here I need to split up and spread out and dry out stuff I don't want to use in the pots. But it's not bad. It's just, yeah, I don't really want it in the containers. It's too heavy. But you can spread it out, let the sun cook it, and blend it in over time. Whew, okay, that was a lot to get it done. Roseanne, yes, the bluey one over here of the hardy geraniums. Didn't want that too close up here. Actually, maybe I should put it a little bit further back, but I think that's fine. That's gonna be really pretty. Gonna add some nice color. A lot of new stuff over here this week, right? So we have the Roseanne. I put the ballerina pink back over there, and the tidal pole Veronica is right here. I would like for that to spread out and fill out the space right here. I think it might be pretty good forming a nice tight mat that maybe the strawberries won't creep up from. Maybe. Painted Lady Hostas, you already know about those. This is the ballerina, the one with the pink. I wanted the one with the pink more further over into the shade because I thought it might lighten things up some more, you know, having some more brightness and color, especially with the chartreusey colors that will be in the background from the Hakanakloa. And then one of the sweet boxes is back here. It's a little bit awkward to where I put it because there's a lot of stuff that's going to come up here in the middle that hasn't come up yet. But I figured, like, at that height, I think that this would be a good spot and be able to see it from all different angles. And I don't know, I think it'll be nice. It may end up over the years being needed to move because I have a bunch of voodoo lilies in here that are going to have some really tall foliage on them. So we will see. We will see how that does. I went ahead and I spread them out. Instead of putting them all together, I was like, you know what, let's spread them out. May as well. Trying to learn about these things because I haven't grown the sweet box before. So I planted them for other people and they've done well, but not in my yard. Haven't messed with them. My light's really weird out here. So I did one over here and then I put the other one up here into this more shaded area. I think that's going to look really nice. I would have taken a little bit further back, but there are some roots that I just could not get through. So that's where that is now. And then Gigantosaurus, already told you about that. The cherry right there. I think that's going to look really nice. I can't wait to the fall to get to see the branches upright with all the color around it. That's going to look really good. Finally, got all that old soil spread around. So that, by the way, that can be kind of controversial. Some people get upset about spreading soil into the garden. Potting mix, I should say, not even soil. You need to know what your ground's like. If you already have a very soggy, wet area, I would not do that. This area up here, it's a lot of gravel. Lots of backfill and gravel for drainage. There's pipes up here behind this wall and down below it. This is all for drainage up here. So a lot of that's going to get worked down. The peat can end up holding on too much moisture. You can have a lot of anaerobic bad stuff going on. But I don't know, I've never had a problem with it. Spread it out real thin, let it dry, and then you can just kind of work it in a little bit. I don't usually, I just end up mulching over it, but you just need to know your soil. Do what works for you. Works for you after you've looked into it and educated yourself about it. I didn't update on these guys down here. Don't know if I really need to, but after I potted up all those windmill palms and the Sabal, these are all yuccas from plant whites that I got last year. There's two recurvifolias right here, mellow yellows. Those are up into 1 gallon containers now. And then over here in a 2 gallon is a variegated aloefolia. It's called Mediopicta. So there we go. Didn't want to forget to talk about that. There's Trachycarpus down in the shade. You can't even see it, but it's over there somewhere. Okay, maybe you could see it. I don't know. The neighbors are down there on that side, and it feels weird. I don't want to go down there with the camera. You see it? I put it right in front of that blue pot. It'll look great there, hopefully. That's always the goal. Anyways, last thing on my agenda of stuff I really wanted to get done this week is repotting this oleander. This is an awesome pretty lemon. I talk about it all the time because I just love that oleander. It's the container that it was in. I got this, it was in one of the, just a little, you know, what is that, 4 inch container. It's a Proven Winners. It's a Proven Winners plant. A few years ago, it was just a stick. Another example of plants I've never seen for sale here at the nurseries. You got to order them. It's kind of a tropical more thing, so you don't see those around here. And I've been not really babying it, but just, I don't know, trying to take good care of it. Because I wanted to get to be a good size. Height-wise, it's not going to get too much harder. I think these go 6 feet, right? They're supposed to have a nice round habit to them. Supposed to be very prolific bloomers. The thing that I ended up loving about them was that this is super cold tolerant. It doesn't show anywhere near as much cold damage as the Calypsos do. They're saying 8 to 11. I would give it a shot in 7B. Even 7A, it'll probably die down to the ground, but you'll still get growth that's about like this. By the end of the year, with a few flowers on it, you can probably get, I don't know, 3 to 5 stems that come up from the ground. Really pretty. A lot of oleanders can be dieback perennials. What are they saying on size? 4 to 5 feet, spacing 4 to 6 feet tall. And there's a picture right there. Very pretty. Very, very, very pretty. Nice habit to it. Repotting this, there's really nothing all that crazy about it. I'm not going to make up a special soil blend. Just want to make sure that it's airy and that it drains well enough for everything. Well, that's really on there. Oh, right, because wind and storms. Come on. There we go. Use this. Have a whole bunch of this mix. Can't say if I love it or hate it. Haven't tried it for very long. Has a nice consistency to it. The main thing with an oleander is you want it to drain well and have some organic richness to it, which this does. Seems like a good blend. The Miracle Grow, which is, I have no problem using Miracle Grow. I had great luck with it, and I mentioned this in a video somewhat recently. It's got a lot of splinters in it. I've heard people say it before, but I've never noticed it. I've been using that stuff since I was a kid, but I'm noticing it now. It's getting me. It bites you. That and with the Miracle Grow, I do tend to like to amend. I'm always adding sand or other things into it, usually some compost to liven it up. I'm going to try and get a good amount of the old soil out of here just because it's a pretty wet mix, and I just don't think that they won't blend very well together. I think that this is going to drain quicker than this, and then it's going to be hard to establish the plant and keep its roots happy and healthy. Yeah, see that? Got a good amount out of there. Did lose some roots. They have pretty fine roots, so there's some little shredded bits up there. Tough plant, so not all that concerned about it. So it'd also be a great time to give this a prune once the repotting's done. I don't think I'm going to. I like the height that it's at right now. Something I am going to add, just a little bit of starter and some holly tone. This is should be a pretty pH balance, I would assume, neutral potting blend, but my tap water is a little bit more on the alkaline side. Usually it varies throughout the year, at various times of year, but it's usually between, I've seen it down to 7.2 and I've seen it up as high as like 9.4. That's kind of frightening when things bounce around like that, but maybe that's normal. I don't know. Typically, usually between 7.5 and 7.8. That's usually what I see. I'm going to put a tiny bit in the bottom, not very much. If you use an organic fertilizer in a potting mix, you really want to go light on. Is my mic on? Good. I always get paranoid about the microphone, especially with the wind. Some other mishaps that have been happening with my audio lately. The organic fertilizers. So these break down. And when things break down, they tend to compact some. They can reduce the amount of oxygen that you're going to have in your container. So, you got to kind of take the good with the bad. And it might just mean you have to repot more quickly. There are some plants keep in a container forever. But if you're adding organics to it frequently, then you're probably going to end up with a mucky mix at some point. Okay. So, filled this up almost all the way, put a light sprinkling of both the holly tone and the biotone in here. I'm letting the wind go ahead and move this around. It's like, this is a good opportunity to just go ahead and let it go the different directions so that as it moves, I can just lightly tap down the soil, which you shouldn't always do. But in this situation, I'm going to have to, because this is a plant that's blown around a lot. It's a plant that I tend to have out earlier in the year. Now that that organic continuous release is on top of everything, I'm just going to put a light layer of potting soil back on top, finish that up and water it in. That's so much better. It's one of those things where every time I've looked at it since, I think, late last summer, it's been bugging me. Wanted to get it that done. Got a big bag of soil acidifier in the mail and completely forgot that for some reason they don't put a closure on the large bags, the ones that cost the most money. We have a nice handle. Put a zippy on there or some Velcro. The Velcro's probably not strong enough for a bag that big. Or, I mean, even, like just one of those little adhesive strips. It'd be great. I'll get a dang bucket to keep this stuff in. I always forget about it. That's why I usually order the smaller bags. Because, well, those big ones always end up going bad on me because I forget to put it away. And then it gets rainy. It's my fault. But, just make the packaging better. I hope it doesn't seem like I've been really hypercritical in this video. I I don't know, when things don't make sense to me or seem stupid, I like to talk about it. Do the stupid things too, remember? I left a bag of this stuff sitting out here open when I knew it was going to rain. I think this is going to be really happy, right? It needed it. It's been in this container for about 2 years now. Prior to that, it went from the 4-inch to a 1 gallon. That was in that 1 gallon for maybe a year or two, probably 1 year. It was in this one for a while. I'm really going to finally get to see some nice mature size in this. I probably should have taken it from the 1 gallon straight up to something this size. You'd want to do that during the heat of the summer when it's nice and toasty out. No, it doesn't look centered. It's because it's leaning. Gonna do that. Maybe I should put a stake in there, or a series of stakes to help hold that upright. Yeah, because that's just gonna keep blowing around, isn't it? You would only want to make a big jump like that when it's nice and warm out. If I think the drainage in here isn't good enough, I can add to it slowly. I can also just pull it out and make the mix a little bit more airy, but I just don't think that's going to be an issue. As long as it's not in a, moisture retentive soil and really cold, I'm not worried about it. And I've been using this mix with a lot of other pots so far this spring, and they're draining very, very well. Whew, okay. Watered everything in. Letting the soil burp out. Hi, Turbo. How you doing? You having fun? You having a good time? Don't you, good Turbo? Yeah, I went through and I watered everything in. I don't know if I needed to. The forecast has just been real weird. It was like, terrible storms, and now it's like a 5% chance. I don't know what's going on. You can see I have the oleander sitting, I'm actually leaning it towards the wind. Because I was thinking that might help, like, counteract. I don't know. Really what I need to do is just go gather up some stakes and tie it up. So you don't want a plant moving around where you're trying to get to take root. Why did I hit record right while I was taking a drink? That didn't make any sense. I will do that. I'll get right on top of that. What a fun few days. So many new plants. Feels so, I know this is just not that big of a deal, and it only took it took a little while because I was talking to the camera. This is, 30, 45 second project, repotting the oleander. I was just thinking it'd be good to mention the holly tone thing. Oleanders, even though they do like the acidity, I've never had one show symptoms of needing me to add something to it. I just figured, well, while we're here doing a repot, just go ahead and throw a little bit of good stuff in there. I typically, when I plant new things, repot things for the last few years, I've really been enjoying using root stimulators, or enjoying the results from using a root stimulator. This time of year, I'm not doing that because the plants, well, for the most part, they're not really taken off quite yet. They're going to sit still for a minute before they start to move. That's the nice thing about the biotone starter, whatever type of organic, continuous release, slow release, organic fertilizer that you might be putting in the ground, is that they're not going to break down right away. They're feeding the microbes and everything in your mix or into the ground so that it's there and readily available for the plant when it gets to that, right? When they reach that zone, wherever you have it, they can start taking up all the good stuff that is a byproduct of those things being broken down. Whereas the liquids, hi Turbo, the liquids, hi, how you doing? Someone need some attention? It'll get some attention, just a minute. The liquids, they're, quick acting. That's just a quick, fast bit of juice, little bit of drink for the plant, little bit of drink. My brain's done. I've done so much filming the last few days, so I'm not gonna be able to film all week leading up to this video. I have other stuff I gotta do. So that's why I crammed in a lot of filming in just a few days. The breeze feels nice. It's a lot of wind, but it's not as obnoxious as when I was trying to film that garden tour. Talk about getting a lot of good stuff in the ground. What, in the past couple of days between Plant Delights, Great Garden Plants, and then Etsy, got around 25 things in the ground or repotted. There's the oleander, got the repot, and then the 4 new palms, and the 3 yuccas. So 8 out of those were things being potted up or repotted. But otherwise, that's gonna be a lot of fun stuff in the garden. I can't wait to watch everything grow, put on some show, some color. Be some nice contrast, especially down here in that garden bed on the hill. It looks so nice. I love that grass. I love everything I got, but that grass might be my favorite. All the other things still need to grow, right? I'm not gonna be that impressed by the geranium or the veronica, all these little guys, the hostas. Can't even see them yet. I'm gonna love those hostas when they get bigger too, but I'm just really excited about getting some more color and contrast up in that area. Especially up on a hill. I love grasses on a hill. There's just something about it. I like being able to look slightly up into it because you can see the form better. That flowy fountain shape. It just, I don't know, it looks nice when you're looking into it or up at it. It's beautiful. Instead of looking down. With the shorter grass, you're looking down at it. So you can just sort of see the circular pattern until it's arching forward, but you can appreciate it more when you get it. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Hope everybody's doing well. Comment down below what's going on in your gardens, your plants. Did you guys place plant orders during the winter? You're just now working on them, your stuff coming in, your experiences with anything that I've talked about in the video. Maybe they were wrong about that storm. Things just got pretty intense over here, which means I should go. Oh, new buds on the ranunculus. Nope, time to go. Hope everybody's doing well. Having a great day, great life, and everything's going absolutely beautifully for you. I think I already said it, but I said it again because I mean it. And of course, as always, and most importantly, everybody, keep on growing. Bye bye. Oh, I finally did it. I did the thing, I cut it back. Bye bye.